Hello and welcome into another video, and today's video is going to be on 007 First Light, and I'm going to try to just go into the simulations thing, which I've literally never done this before, so this might be a mistake. For the most part, I'm going to be glazing this game, but I do want to get a few frustrations out because this game, I knew 007 First Light wasn't going to be perfect. I have never really got around to playing IOI interactive games, or is it that it's IO interactive and that's what it gets shortened down to IOI, because you can tell, I know the make Hitman, but I never got around to playing it because I tried to on the VR, and the VR version is just fucking abysmal. Which, speaking of, you can tell this is definitely the same dev because this menu looks so similar, it's unfucking believable right now. I know I should probably be reading this, but I'm just going to load something so I've got some footage. I knew the game was going to be perfect, but I kind of had hopes because people are weirdly protective about the Bond license, even though most Bond things suck. Sorry, not sorry with that, but they do. Casino Royale and Skyfall are brilliant. That's all. So yeah, I knew Bond was going to be one of those things that it might deliver, but it might also be a bit of a problem, especially because I know how much jank the Hitman games had, and the dev team for the first, I'd say 5 full missions, it might have been 6 full missions. I'm trying to think where the mission marker actually cuts between. Let's see, it was mission 5 into 6 when I started to have issues finally. For the first 5 missions, this game just flowed. It was perfect. It was, I would constantly see the different ways that it was setting me up to succeed. There are so many avenues to succeed in this game that I honestly was starting to figure, is there actually a way to fail? And I don't mean that it's easy, I just mean there are so many things that every time you walk into a room and you know what you're trying to be doing, it'll be a case of, I'm trying not to actually spoil anything because I also want people to navigate this normally, but it'll be, I've seen a vent and I figure I can get into the vent, and then by going through the vent and actually exploring, I find 3 other ways back that could have took me to the same area, and 2 of which I'd passed and noticed, and I had a feeling, but at the same time I was like, I've already saw the vent, I want to do the vent. There's so many ways to succeed. It's brilliant. And it's all fluid, it's all native, it all runs just, it's the sort of thing that, it's frictionless. That's the word I'm trying to think of. It is truly frictionless. Until it is. The Gala, I was loving the game so much, and I still do love the game, by the way, and I can't wait for a sequel. I really, really want to fucking play more of this. I'm hoping that we get a trilogy or something, and from the sounds of things, there's been so much miscommunication about it, but apparently IO are actually wrote down, right, this is a mechanic, by the way, that I can't stand. The focus doesn't work. You can see that I am actually pushing it. The thing changes from black to white, but it just doesn't seem to want to trigger most of the time. That drives me mad. There's little bits like that that take me out of it, but for the most part, it's frictionless. And the Gala, I'm going to again be light on spoilers, as light as I can, but I am going to have to mention some mission specifics here. You have to get a key card to get into a CCTV room. And I was walking around and I didn't have any gadget stuff left. I didn't have any like power for my watch or any other chemicals to do anything. And I could find the guard with the key card. And I'm like, I've been trying to stealth this entire thing. I need to actually just go gung-ho and attack now. So I went in, I kicked the crap out of all of the 3 of them, and I was trying to avoid combat, and I'm not like saying why or anything, but I was just personally trying to avoid combat, and I beat all 3 of them up, and I'm like, where's the key card? The key card was definitely on the guy. Where's the key card? Why is the key card gone? It took me best part of 30 minutes to fucking get another key card because I ran around and had to find another guard, and then I had to find more materials to be able to knock the people out so that I could do a decoy essentially to pickpocket the key card. I don't understand why I couldn't just pick the key card up off the ground. I don't know if it was a glitch, I don't know if it was a bug, I don't know if you're supposed to be able to do so and the key card just disappeared. All I know is it was frictionless until that point. And then it started to get worse, and it is specifically with the Gala mission, to the point of that hopefully these are weird bugs that only I experienced and they'll actually be able to patch these in, because I'd walk past a vase and it fucking exploded. And I don't mean like in a Bond gadgety way, I mean in a as if I'd just fired a rocket at it, but all I'd done was nudge it slightly with my elbow and it just completely exploded. There were bits of popping, bits of cutting and that. There was a section where I'm sneaking and trying to get past a bunch of guards.
I think you got the point.
And again, it got to the point of I have to actually do combat. So I started combat, I knocked 2 people out and tried to open the door that I had the key card to, and the door said, no, you can't do that, there's hostiles around. There wasn't. So I ran back into the other room, found the apparent hostiles, beat all of them, then 4 new hostiles appeared behind me, so I had to kill all of them, because at this point I'd had to do the license to kill thing, and I know I'm going to be failing this, by the way, because I'm supposed to be doing a thing. This is just here for footage. So I killed all of those, then another bunch spawned and I killed all of those. There was literally no one left now though. I'd completely wiped out the entire thing. I'd had to go full lethal when I didn't want to. Still wouldn't let me open the door because the hostiles were around. And I'm walking and I'm walking and I'm like, is there a hidden enemy somewhere? What the fuck's going on? And then randomly Bond's just like, he does a quip and combat was over. It was frictionless until it wasn't. And it's such a shame that the Gala mission kind of really starting to take me out of it just for that one mission, because again it's like been an absolutely magnificent game otherwise, and I'm truly fucking loving it, and I'm not actually finishing with the gap, and it's the reason why I'm trying to avoid spoilers, because this is like the year that this has been. There's a lot of people who are struggling to get through games, and me especially, even with a lot of the time that I've had, I've been doing so many other side projects that I just haven't had the time to get back to it, and I'm really glad that I am playing it now, because it is an absolute fantastic game. I don't think it's going to be my game of the year because of Mina. I no longer seem to have to worry about Adventures of Elliot, because wow, does that seem like it's really fucked up after everything looked so great with it, and I'm so gutted, but I'll probably still try it, but I don't know if it's I'll try it now thing, because there's so much coming out in such a short space of time. But I'm glad that I'm playing it. I'm really fucking enjoying it. I can't wait to play more of it, and I'm loving so much that IO have actually done here with Bond, and it's why this video is now actually about to shift to a second topic, because I have to bring this up. I like the fact that we've got to a point where we can just see it, that this is Insomniac Spider-Man, this is IO's Bond, that there's these characters that everyone knows and respects, and there's lore around them. But we finally hit the point where people are just like, oh yeah, well I know this isn't going to be a one-to-one adaptation. We finally got the point where people have stopped wanting a one-to-one adaptation. Now obviously there's still people who get pissed off, and there's still the grifters and all the other arseholes who are just like, oh, how dare you make this woke, this, that and the other bullshit, you know. It's just the whole maddening thing that, again, is a blight on gaming at this moment in time. But I'm really glad that, and as weird as this is, I'm not a Marvel Cinematic Universe fan. I'm just not. I'm a Marvel fan. I love Marvel comics, I love Marvel games, but I cannot get away with the MCU. But one thing the MCU seems to have done, I credit the fact that we're now getting this with Insomniac Spider-Man and IO's Bond and any character where people want to do their own take on it and give their own story, and people are more accepting, because of Samuel L. Jackson. There are so many people who were really abhorrent with the recasting of the Human Torch for Fantastic Four, and I've never actually seen that Fantastic Four, so I might be about to fuck up and I might be about to see the wrong actor, but as far as I'm aware, it is Michael B. Jordan, who was in Creed, and my complaint was, why not also make Sue black? If you're casting Michael B. Jordan for the Human Torch for Johnny, why not also make Sue? Like, that was my complaint. A lot of people's complaint was, how dare you make them black, and it's like, what the fuck? That didn't really happen with Samuel L. Jackson, and now to the point of Nick Fury, who has been one of the most boring ass basic vanilla fucking characters of all time, kinda got a complete redesign because of Samuel L. Jackson. And every time I've interacted with Marvel since the MCU, Nick Fury's been a bald black man with an eye patch, and I'm happy with that. I'm fine with the change. I think it's fucking brilliant, and I'm really genuinely wondering was this like a kind of cultural shift that allowed people to finally see this and see that we can change these characters and we can change things up. And I know fine well there's going to be people so pissed off with this. Why isn't Bond pansexual or bisexual or asexual or anything at all that allows him to seduce anyone of any gender? The greatest spies in the history of the fucking world are the people who seduce people. And Bond, as we all know, seduces women all the time and is a complete, not a serial womanizer. Surely Bond would be a better spy if he could just seduce anyone. I mean, I'm going to fuck the name up. Le Chiffre, I think. Mads Mikkelsen, basically, his character from Casino Royale. Again, Casino Royale and Skyfall. Can't see enough good things about those. It's the rest of the movies. But yeah, I would have been so down for them to have at least tried to fuck. You know? Like maybe we, as much as I love that film, there's more than one time where I'm like, couldn't you have at least tried to fuck and tried to like get your differences out that way instead of going straight to the machismo thing? It's just maddening. But yeah, I like that we're getting to a point where we're starting to accept that these are characters and characters change with the times, as do the stories and that. And I really like that we've got a modernised Bond. And I actually think it's really weird that there's been so many people saying this is Kingsman. There's a little bit of Kingsman in there, but I actually think it's more that Kingsman just respected Bond a lot more than people realised and just modernised Bond. And now that we've seen a more modernised Bond, people are like, oh yeah, this is a bit Kingsman-y, and it's like, oh, not really.
Sorry.
But yeah, it's I do actually really like who plays Bond. I probably should have looked it up, by the way. I am truly loving his Bond to the point of he might be my favourite already. Like, I really love Daniel Craig's Bond. It's the best part of those 5 movies, without a shadow of a doubt, even though I only like 2 of them to actually watch. And I do love them. When I truly, like, Casino Royale, I watched that film so many fucking times. I wouldn't go to the cinema, and I went to the cinema to see that film so many fucking times. I really love that film. I love his Bond, I love everything about it, but I'm really liking this guy. Like, really liking this guy. Anyway, I am going to end this waffling now, though, and see it. Until next time, I've been Sky Fellowship. I truly do hope you have a great rest of your day. And next time I actually talk about this, I will be a lot more spoiler-wise. I'll be going into things and showing off actual gameplay instead of this, and talking about plot points and everything. But I wanted to intentionally avoid that, just for, in case there's anyone else out there who just really hasn't found the time to fucking play this. I would strongly recommend it. I know I'm really waffling here at the end. I'll say give it a couple of missions, because the controls are the only thing that I have an issue with at the start. But then the more I've started to play it, I'm still not 100% sold that you couldn't have actually made the game with a better control scheme. But the controls that you do actually have that feel clunky do actually start to flow, and suddenly you realise, actually, I kind of understand why they designed them this way. But it is a bit charming when you first get there and you're like, this doesn't control anything like I've played before. So yeah, either way, until next time, bye.